Greetings and welcome to this week's magical message. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us this early morning, evening, depending on where you are. And I want to just first off, I want to say I know that I took an unexpected break for the last couple of weeks, but I was having a really hard time getting anything to upload to YouTube. I was having a hard time just being able um, to get videos and stuff to just come together. Anyway, I was really kind of just feeling, I wasn't sure whether or not I wanted to, or whether I needed to take a different direction. What is this message? It was kind of crazy. Cause I was like, okay, I really felt this shift in this direction was going to be, necessary, but sometimes some things aren't supposed to be forever. You know what I mean? So I was really trying to be in a space where I wasn't holding on to it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, something clearly is going on, because it got to the point where I had no ability to do any of that. And it was like, let me just take this pause and let me not continue to try to force it or push. And it kind of came at a time where I got opportunity to really make amends with some family members and really kind of do some things that are going to be really good for me, diet wise, just lifestyle wise, things that, just things for me, period, of my life. So it was really a perfect time because I needed to kind of put these things in order. And, with my focus being on, all the different things I'm doing with work and the children and just all the different things I'm doing, it's kind of like, okay, let's just completely kill all of that, right? And just put your focus solely on yourself and these close relationships. So I spent, the week prior to Thanksgiving and then Thanksgiving week really kind of just being in that space. And then the week after, kind of reflecting on what I really needed to do and wanted to do with, with the readings and, how I needed to make any changes. And, I was like, I don't know, I'm going to flow with it because that's kind of how I got here. I'm just kind of flowed with it, and me being in a state where I'm not holding on to anything and I'm just kind of in a detached kind of space has been the thing that has allowed my energy to flow the healthiest. So I know that when I get into a space where I'm holding on, it's like, no, 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 no. So anyway, I knew that I needed to let go and just allow for this thing to kind of reveal itself to me. And I think that I really just needed to do some deeper insight and some healing and just do some reflective work. And sometimes you have to do that. And I think sometimes people want to make spirituality so much of a business that they forget to take the necessary time to really do what the real magic is, which is the real work. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get so into just doing that, when was the last time you really checked in on yourself and did what you needed to do and made the shifts you needed to make so that you could actually elevate those powers and those energies, and sometimes we just get lost in the sauce. So it's been a really amazing time to really just kind of get deeper connected with myself, my own direction, and really fine tune some of those details of this person and this frequency that I'm becoming and that I'm creating. Um, so, with that, I know that was a little bit long, but it's been 2 weeks, and you can't just disappear and pop up and just keep rolling. I mean, you can, but I just wanted to kind of give a little cushion for what that was. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get into the overview of this week. So this week really comes with a message, a really strong message around love and support coming from other realms, meaning, your spirit guides, your whatever other kind of guides that you have, because they could be angels, they could be fairies, they could be dragons, they could be any number of things, right? They could be animals, they could be all kinds of things. And I really don't like to use the term animals, but, everybody understands what I'm talking about when I use that term. But we have the opportunity to really kind of heal some things this week and really kind of move through and navigate some what could seem to be some deeper, darker waters, depending on how you're kind of standing in this energy. But it gives you the opportunity to really do this, but with this loving cushion, kind of like, this, like if you were holding a baby, right? And you're holding the baby's bottom, you're holding the baby's back, and you're giving them this full support, even if, maybe you're walking outside and it's really windy and the wind is kind of pushing you around. So you're having to move through this thing that maybe it's not necessarily anything negative that's happening, right? It's just kind of intense, or it's just kind of a powerful moment. And so you're moving through this thing that really feels like we're going to be speaking on, or uh, really focused on the emotions and the relationships and what you thought things were versus what they actually are. Just coming into certain moments of clarity and really being able to listen. It's like our ears are kind of just like opening up, and we're able to finally hear things in ways that we could not hear it before. That allows for our heart chakras, or that energy, to just open up. And so expect there to be a lot of healing and opportunity for healing this week, because it really is a week about really stepping into a space where you are standing in alignment with what is really in tune with you. What is really in alignment with your authentic core self, that not just that you are, but that you're choosing to be, right? Because it's not just about, okay, you were assigned this thing and you have to be this thing. It's also about who you're choosing to be, right? And so you're going to get things that line up with that. And so if you find that you're kind of like all over the place, you may find that the person that you are just divinely in your core and who you are also choosing to be aren't lining up. Maybe you're meant to be really expressive, or maybe verbally expressive, right? And then who you're actually being isn't someone who practices being able to communicate in those same ways. And it ends up hindering you, right? So you want to make sure that those things are in alignment and allowing them to just kind of flow into alignment, right? You don't want to try and force anything, because then you get into a space where you're frustrated because you aren't getting the lesson. You're not understanding the shifts or the changes that need to take place. And you're just kind of burning yourself out trying to do a bunch of things, or getting frustrated and doing absolutely nothing in order to, make whatever the change is. So, just this week, make sure that you are in a space where you are really just allowing for things to flow. You're allowing for yourself to release, and you may find yourself being a little maybe nostalgic. You may find yourself being a little focused in a particular energy right this week, and speaking more so emotionally. So you may be feeling energies that are dealing with things of sadness or happiness, or maybe it does fluctuate, right? But it's all kind of centered around the same kind of thing, kind of like uprooting something that you've been trying to heal or working to heal, and finally uprooting it, right? And so it's like, even if it's multiple things, it's still rooted by the same thing, right? You're just removing it. And I really like to say, instead of removing something just by the roots, you're removing it by the seeds. So, removing that in that way, right? And so it's like there is a focus in that energy, which is what's making it intense this week. So you may find yourselves a little kind of like, all right. And not that the whole week will feel like that, but you're going to go through periods where you could just be having a conversation, and conversation just gets really deep. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa. but there is so much love and so much support in that as long as you allow for it to flow, you're going to flow through it. And it's not even going to feel like it's a thing. You know what I mean? It's going to feel really good to you, even if it is something really deep, even if it is something really serious. Okay, so it's really about learning to really navigate and surf those emotional waves, and allow for the mind to be able to explore without getting trapped and boxed into any particular thing, especially fear. right? Allow yourself to just release and understand that what you're being shown or what's coming up for you is coming up because you are at a space where it's time to kind of separate, release, shift, or just come into a heightened state of awareness with that particular thing, right? So these things are just coming up so that they can come full circle and we can fully close the door on the this chapter, whatever this chapter has been in your personal life. This is what this time is. Now, going into the beginning of the week, because we're going to go through a breakdown of the beginning, the middle, and the end of the week. So, the beginning of the week, we have started with Archangel Michael, which again speaks to this energy of protection. It speaks to this energy of really needing to be in a space of awareness when it comes to the amount of love and support and protection that you have, because the more that you are aware, the more that you feel it. It doesn't mean that it's not there just because you are not aware of it, but it does mean the more that you feel it, the more it really becomes real for you. Right. And so when you do that, you're able to walk with it and move with it and move confidently in the knowing that you have this protection. Right. And so I'm really feeling that energy is about really getting into what it is that you are being shown. Right. I think in a lot of different ways, regardless to whether things have happened the way that you wanted them to or not, you're being shown in different ways how you are loved, how you are cared for. And if you're being shown things to show you that you're not, then you're also being shown the ways that you need to release, which is also a form of self-love. So regardless, recognizing all the different ways that you're being loved and that you're being called to love on yourself. And that's going to heighten that awareness of that protection, of that blessing, of that light being shined on you. Okay, so in addition to that, going into the middle of the week, we also have a healing card. And this card is it's really interesting because I feel like it's not just about, like on a physical level. I feel like, or I should say, not just on a physical or relational level, but I feel like it also is speaking to health and finances. It's speaking to multiple different areas in your lives where you have been working on something, working to bring something to a whole state of being. So whatever that thing is, but you've been working on it for, it feels like it's a while, because these roots feel like there's a lot of intention, a lot of energy that's gone into creating this space, right? And so it feels like you're coming into a space where you're finally reaching this space of healing, really seeing the remedy begin to take place, the reward begin to take place, the manifestations beginning to take place. You're beginning to see these things begin to come that create this whole feeling, this whole space energetically, right? And then we end the week with the retreat card. Okay. And this card, I actually literally thought about a retreat, but I thought about the kind of retreat because this energy isn't necessarily like, okay, you won. And then it's like the energy is like super like rah, 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 excited. It's not that at all. It's in fact very much kind of like you're still with yourself, you're still kind of reflective. You're still allowing yourself to be quiet, but at the same time you kind of balling, you know what I mean? Like you're treating yourself very well. You are doing some beautiful and some really wonderful things for yourself, and really kind of almost in a way kind of like romancing yourself, just loving on yourself and allowing yourself to really be in a space where you are allowing that love around you to really be received. So It's like this energy is like you got it, but you got it in a way that just kind of like it caused you to just be silent and kind of draw back a little bit. Not antisocial drawback, but like I just need to take a step back and think about like, wow, like I'm like this is actually really happening, right? And sometimes when stuff happens, sometimes we think when things happen we're gonna be excited all the time and we're gonna just be like losing our minds. But sometimes when really amazing things happen or have been happening and we come to that awareness, I mean, it takes a minute just to process it. So I think I think that's a really, um, it's a really special time, and it's also a time to still hold that integrity with that intention and the seriousness of where it is that you really want to go in your life and the direction with your relationships and with yourself. Because as much as it is celebratory, it's not like it's release and like, whew, okay, let your hair down completely, kick your feet up, and just do whatever. It's really like, okay, you got this right now, level up, right? We're not sitting down, right? You're standing, we're about to fly now. So that's the next step, right? And we're not laying down in between. So be prepared for all of the beautiful things that are going to be manifesting. They're going to require something of you. They're going to take something of you, whether it be your time and your energy, whether it's whatever it is. It's going to be something, right? But be prepared to really live in a space where you are in present existence with the happiness and the joy and the love that is around you. Because when you do that, you have the opportunity to unlock a whole new way of being. Because what you're thinking about is different. How you're being is different. Um, what you think is possible is different because you feel stable, you feel secure, you feel protected, you feel loved, you have the things that you need to really thrive. And you're not spending all that additional time and energy and thought searching for it someplace outside of yourself. So, really, 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 it's like this week is saying, hey, really tap into what this is this week and really get into um, learning to celebrate you without it having to be about celebrating and showing, because this week really is about the more that you can be with yourself, the more that you can be in a space of awareness and present with what it is that you've created, the greater you are going to not only feel and be, but the greater you're going to be able to hone in the fullness of these manifestations, right? So making sure that this week you're taking that time. And, this is for, general. So I'm going to go ahead and give the family reading in just a bit. So make sure you all, kind of tune into that. But this sets the tone for us generally, right? So we can already kind of feel what energies are going to be present when we're talking about the family and when we're talking about the kind of dynamics that are going to be taking place within, just those family relationships, those household relationships. So just love on each other, be in a space of love. Though everybody's moving through something, trying to level up, or not even trying, but leveling up through something. And if they're not, or if the thing around you is not supporting you in leveling up, no one understand that you're going to see it. It's going to be highlighted. You're going to know, because now again, it's like, it's time. It's time for you to make that choice. It's time for you to, see yourself so that you are willing to do what it takes to really step into the fullness of what it is that you've come here to do. This is your time to shine. And allow yourself to be open to how that happens and how it unfolds, right? Don't put yourself on a timer. Don't paint the picture before you even have an opportunity to see what it is you're painting on or what you're painting with. Take your time, enjoy yourself, celebrate yourself, and learn to get quiet and silent with yourself. Okay? So that is the message for this week. I hope that everyone gets something from it. I hope that you all walk away, and as you move through your week, you're able to kind of pull back on this reading and really kind of flow with a mastery throughout this week. And by the time you finish the end of this week, you are coming out with your head completely blown at all of the magical and the beautiful things that are really taking place for you in your life. And really acknowledging this shift in perspective. I think that's a beautiful thing, right? Yeah. My tongue is so tired right now. I think that is the beautiful thing about what's happening right now is that perspectives, your mind, that energy is shifting, which means the heart too is shifting. It's a beautiful time for healing. So you use this energy wisely and transform your lives. Alrighty. Bye, you all. We'll talk again next week. If you liked the video, definitely comment down below, like, subscribe, and follow. And we will catch up next week. If you want to share anything, if you want to book a reading or anything like that, definitely check out the description below because all my information is down there. All right. Thank you all. Bye.